Right, so we are in St Serf's and we're in a little place called Dunning, and we're just going to have a wee look at the graveyard first before we see the church. But there's some beautiful markers here. This one, you've got the angel with the wings, that's your spirit going up to heaven. You've got the skull and crossbones, you've got the hourglass, the sands of time have run out. There's some really pretty ones here. Now, this is where St Serf supposedly slew the dragon in the 6th century, and this is the former parish church, and it's said to mark the spot where it happened. Now, parts of it are 800 years old. The tower you can see here, that's 800 years out, and it's laid out how the Reformation shaped churches in the 1560s. Now, St Serf's church was built around 1200, probably by Gilbert, Earl of Strathearn, and its income was awarded by him to the Augustinian Priory at Inchaffrey. Now, the site was chosen for its association with St Serf, a Christian missionary from the 500s. The 75-foot Romanesque tower remains much as it would have been when the original church was built. However, there is an addition. You can see the clock face there. That was added in 1890, and it's on all four sides. As the building, the remainder of the church is comprised of a nave intended for worship of local residents, a narrow, low-roofed structure, as you can see here. If you actually look at the side of the tower, you can see where the original roof line was, slightly higher up, and it would have been a much steeper pitch to it. Look at this, isn't this gorgeous? That beautiful one. It's worn, but you can still make out lots of detail on it. Nothing remains of the original part apart from the original arch, which survives between the base of the tower and the nave, and there's a kind of we do see it when we go in, but it's kind of obscured by one of the galleries, but you get the idea of how substantial it was when it was built. So it's got a rectangular nave with narrow chancel to its east and a short bell tower to the west. It's a beautiful day. Do you see here? You've got the face with the initials, Memento Mori, and you've got the skull and crossbones, but they're actually buried underneath. The stone has gone quite far down into the ground there. And then this one's quite nice. This is a tailor, because you can see the scissors and the flat iron just there. So you've got the scissors and the iron. And this poor one over here is on its side. It's quite ornate anyway. Now, the oldest dated stone, not the oldest stone here, but the oldest dated stone is actually just over here. It's really very small and easy to miss. It's a man called Rutherford. Yep, that's it right there. Wait till I come round and I'll show you the front. And here you can see his initials, Thomas Rutherford. There's a skull, a very primitive one. 1623 is the date. Now, we do have another one over here. This one here, this tiny little one, you can see the date on that is 1624. So a few from the 1600s with dates, more from the 1700s, and they usually have the trade guild marks on them. The two by the door, the flat ones over there, 10, 1100s we think, possibly 12. Right, now moving forward in time, we're going to go and have a little look a much more modern grave marker. But I think this is a beautiful little war memorial. Now there were a number of minor changes that were made that include a communion table in 1895, a pulpit which previously stood in a church that was due for demolition in Auchterarder in 1914. St Serf's continued to serve as Dunning's parish church until 1972. That's a lovely metal one, but it's actually got some painting on it, but it's so worn away now with the weather that you can barely make it out. But the one I want to show you is just hiding behind this tree over here. Yeah, and the church ceased being a parish church in 1972 and then was taken over in 1978 into state care. Now, there's lots of clues that we've looked at when it comes to the church. Just here though, look. You've got this beautiful metal grave marker with an enamel part on it, which is, it's a shame, it needs to be protected. Erected by David Scott in memory of his dearly beloved wife Helen Walker Druitt, who died at 17 Bank East, Falkirk on 31st of January 1908, aged 65. Here's the little bird in the tree just singing away to us here. So yeah, so the clues to the age of this church. I mean, obviously the tower itself, you can tell it's much older, especially when you look at the difference in the colour of stone and things. You know there's been additions. The Romanesque archway inside, which is at the base of the tower where the cross is, you'll see that in a little while. There's some beautiful carved scallops inside, and part of the original round-headed doorway and then the north aisle. So it's a fantastic church. It's run by Historic Environment Scotland. It's open during the summer. You can look on their website, you'll get all the details. It's free to visit as well. And the drive I took to get here was through Glendevon, which was just so beautiful and scenic. So I really would, if you have the time, I would definitely think about putting this on your itinerary if you're into Pictish stone art, if you're into old medieval buildings, definitely, or even just modern church buildings. There's something for everyone on this one. Right, I hope you enjoyed it. Now, before the Reformation, in the 1390s, the Rollo family of Duncroom became the local landowners and members of the church. So yeah, they altered the church as well. The pulpit was moved to the central location to be more visible to all the members in the congregation in 1687. The laird's lofts were added to the east end of the kirk for private use by the Rollos. And then in 1910 a new aisle and an upper gallery were added to increase the capacity of the church to 1,000. Here's one of the gravestones with the trade guild symbols, so you can see the crown of St Crispin and the cordoner's knife there. Now the three arms of the interior of the church direct the attention towards the central pulpit, where the preacher would stand. So yeah, it's a beautiful church. I'll just bring you around and show you to the entrance. So you now have no excuses, you have to come and visit. Now, this was originally outside, exposed to the elements, in a location not too far away from here. I believe there's actually a replica of it on the site. Now, it's a freestanding cross, and these are very common in Ireland, Western Scotland and Northumbria, we're sort of east central Scotland over here. Now, the Dupplin Cross is the only complete example that survives in Pictish territory. Sorry, there's a little bit of strobing. It's because of the light that they're using to light it up. Now, the style and content sets out an important message for the Pictish viewers. Constantine's desire to have his political authority and links to the church recognised comes across quite loud on this. This is Constantine here, and just below you can see 4 soldiers. They're actually kind of easier to see on this side. So that's what the soldiers look like. You've got animals here, lots of decoration. Sorry about the strobing again, it's the light. So the top is all knots and circles and things. There was an inscription here. They have been able to read some of it. As technology moves on, they'll get the rest of it as well. And there you can see fighting the lion. Yeah. And here we have the harp being played. Animals, is it? Yeah, I think it is. We're back round to the front. And again, I apologise for the lighting, but there's nothing I can do. So there's quite a lot of symbolism on this. I'm going to come in. Do you see his moustache? It's very long. Very long moustache. And then you've got, I think they're dogs at the bottom here. And here we have a Pictish grave marker, probably 1000s. Very simple, it's got a Celtic cross at the front. They found this under the floor of the church, so that makes them believe that there was definitely a religious settlement here before this one. That's just a nice little You can slow it down later and read all the details if you want to. But I'm just going to show you on the map where we are. We're right there. You can see where the dot is. Right, now, just going to turn around so we can have one last look at it. Now the carving is skillful on this, and it's got images that are contemporary with the biblical King David. David was the writer of Psalms and the protector of his people, and is shown as a warrior king. Now the proud horseman and sword and sceptre in the front east side, that what we're looking at, is almost certainly Constantine with his warriors. So you can see him there. Now the head of the cross has this sort of central boss that you can see, and then you've got the arms coming off. The purely Pictish part though There's Constantine, his horse, the prominent head, the moustache. It shows authority. The 4 young warriors below the king are in plain clothing, no moustaches, and the hunting dogs are giving chase. So yeah, it is an amazing survivor. So if you do get the chance and you have time, it's definitely worth coming to visit. Right everyone, I really hope you enjoyed that. So remember, it's St Serf's and it's Dunning. It's a beautiful church to explore. You're going from the 1200s to the present day almost. You've got some beautiful Pictish artwork in here as well. So if you're into the Picts or old churches, or even just little villages, this is a really nice one to visit. The drive through Glendevon, spectacular. So yeah, there's lots of reasons to put this on your itinerary. Plus it's free to visit, so what more could you ask for? Now remember, if you enjoyed, give me a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments. And if you want to keep seeing what I'm doing, press the bell and give me a subscribe if you can. Okay, thanks, bye.